Absolutely.
December 19th, 2001. An early Christmas gift for local football fans arrived. The National Indoor Football League announced that Houma would be awarded a franchise to be called the Bayou Bucks. The Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government recruited owners in Neil Seward and Gordon Dove under the name Pseudo Properties. Travis Carell, an employee for NIFL founders James and Carolyn Shiver, was named general manager. By late January, he hired Jack Phillips Jr. as head coach, and Coach Phillips' staff would include C.J. Mayton Sr., Franklin Thomas, Benny Berg, Ronald Rankins, and Greg Harding. Also added were trainer Gerard White and physician Dr. Mark Walker.
With me tonight, two guys that are very instrumental in bringing the Bayou Bucks to Houma, Louisiana. Of course, Neil Seward on my right, Gordy Devil on my left. First, Gordy, I tell you what, what's the feeling like tonight, Gordy, right now, man?
Oh, we are very excited. The crowd, the coaching staff, the players, they really look tremendous. As you can see, the Civic Center's full, and we're looking for a great game.
Neil, I tell you, I know you've been awfully busy the last couple of days getting this arena ready. My hat's off to you, guy. Well, what are your feelings for Terrebonne Parish and Houma right now for this happening, Neil?
I tell you what, this is so exciting. I mean, everybody in Houma, Terrebonne Parish, everybody's just, hyped up, coming out. It is so great. We were hoping to have a medium turnout. I mean, everybody's excited. They are here. I think it's going to be tremendous for the parish and Houma. It's going to be wonderful.
Steve, I tell you what, everybody on here is very excited. These two guys, once again, are very instrumental for the Bayou Bucks. Congratulations to both you guys.
Putting the organization together was yeoman's work, for the club only had 2 months to put together a 30-player roster for opening night, March 23rd, versus the Austin Knights at the Houma Terrebonne Civic Center. Former LSU stars Herb Tyler at quarterback and tight end Nicky Savoie were part of that starting roster.
I think just like running a football team, you go in being complacent, then you're probably going to wind up getting knocked out. The deal is that you treat the fans like the true fans. Give them what they want. Give them information. Let them know what's going on with the team. Get them involved, and that's what we've done in Houma, and it looks like it's going to be a success.
All right. It goes back to also getting players that the fans around here are familiar with, especially when it's arena football, because people will come see people that they can relate to.
We've got 11 guys, maybe 10 guys from New Orleans area and Thibodaux, a lot of local guys from the Nickel State area, and that combination right there allowed us to have a lot of local fans to come in and enjoy the game.
We don't want
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the National Indoor Football League in Houma, Louisiana. Hi, everybody. Hillary Domang along with Bobby Arsenault. Glad you could join us tonight. We're here for 40 minutes of pregame. The Bayou Bucks hosting the Austin Knights in the first ever professional football league game here in Houma, Louisiana. Bobby, it's a joy to be here. It really is, for those of us who love sports in this area, to have a professional football team here, and it's a buzz in the crowd here tonight. Well, you're right. Here, I'll tell you what, I was coming up here just a little while ago, and the gates weren't open yet, but boy, the lines were backed up for a good ways. There was a good crowd outside. They were waiting to come in. The crowd's filing in right now, and it looks like, I noticed the 1350 tickets were sold out. They had a sign down there, and people in line buying other tickets, and I said the crowd's still filing in. It's going to be a packed house, it looks like.
In that first contest, Michael Burks made the first ever Bayou Bucks score with a 22-yard touchdown run with just over 2 minutes into the game, and Houma had a halftime lead of 20-3. Austin slowly ate away at the lead that was assisted by Bucks players leaving due to injury, including defensive backs Travis Brown and Leonard Jackson, plus Nicky Savoie, who was gone for the season on the second play of the game. It became a back-and-forth contest with the Bucks taking the lead with 2:37 left.
At the 8-yard line, and here's Tyler faking, throwing long, man open, Sullivan Beard, touchdown, beautiful pass. What a pass, and what a grab, what a route, and the Bucks are back on top, and this is the action that people just absolutely love. It's 39-33 with 2:53 remaining.
And that's what it's about, baby. You just want to see the bomb thrown.
For an important extra point, the hold and the kick, it's blocked, and it could be returned, but and let's see, there's a penalty flag. Bucks rushing 3. Here's the long pass down here from Bernard. He's got it, and it's a touchdown just like that. We are tied up at 39 all with the point after to come. Great toss. Snap and the kick is good. And the Knights lead for the first time, 40-39, with 1 time here to kick this field goal home. 38 yards. It's down and it's on the way and it's going to make it through and it's going to be no good.
Got a replay there. Look, let's see here.
Now we'll get a good look at it. It went off to the right.
Off to the right.
Regardless whether you like football or not, you want to come back. I mean, it's fast, it's action-packed. You hate to lose by 1. I mean, I'd rather lose by 20, but, I mean, all in all, hey, first game, we sold out. And I'll tell you what, I knew Houma could do it. I knew this area could do it. I told the league that we could make it happen, and we made it happen, and we showed them tonight.
One bit of controversy some 45 minutes before kickoff. Receiver Kevin Hurd was told by game officials he couldn't play for Houma as his previous team, the Mississippi Fire Dogs, hadn't released him even though his contract had expired, to which league rules supported Mississippi. Hurd later got a restraining order from a Terrebonne Parish judge, allowing him to play for Houma effective week 3 at Alexandria. The next week at the Oklahoma Crude, the Bucks wound up being upset 31-29 in a game where quarterback Herb Tyler was lost for the year due to a knee injury. The Bucks almost tied the game with under 1:30 left in regulation when Aubrey Jones threw a touchdown pass to Matt Butler, but the following 2-point conversion attempt would be dropped by Butler.
Jones underneath center again, back to pass for the Bucks. Away from the pressure, looks downfield, has a receiver. It is Matt Butler, touchdown! Touchdown, Bayou Bucks, 35 yards out, and the Bucks will go for 2 to tie it. Shake Snyder and Beard right side, Butler far side. David Butler is the setback behind Aubrey Jones. Jones under center, back to pass, looks for Matt Butler. It is caught. No, incomplete for the 2-point conversion. Matt Butler had it in his hands. He got stripped away, and the Oklahoma Crude still have the lead, 31-29.
The following week at the Louisiana Rangers of Alexandria, 3 Houma turnovers in the second quarter led to 25 Ranger points in an 81-64 Alexandria win. Going into their next home game versus the Tupelo Fire Ants, Houma had given up more points on defense than any other NIFL team. Led by offensive linemen Troy Davis, Troy Martin, and Kerwin LaFrance, with Lane Evans injured, the Bucks never trailed in a 44-24 win.
The 20-yard line. That fumble this time as Rainey was not ready for the handoff, and it's picked up by the Bucks, and Poole is going to run it. He can get up and run. Well, they give him the 6. They give him the 6. It's a touchdown for the Bayou Bucks. Charles
Takes it around, and big old number 77, Troy Martin, holds up 2 guys. Michael Burt waltzes on in.
Burks, the tailback, it'll be Guidry getting the call. Guidry looks like he gets the first down, then he gets the touchdown. And the Bucks take the 36-18 lead with 1:55 remaining. From the 3-yard line with 10 seconds left, a Bayou Bucks victory is at hand, and here is Jordan to throw. Lofts it, incomplete, intercepted down there. Timothy Betts coming upfield, he may go. He's across the 25 to the 20, the 50, the 10. He's knocked down at the 3-yard line.
Holy cow,
And
what
the
more
cannon went off.
How better can you end the game on an interception? And Betts almost runs it in for a touchdown. Whoa, guys, what excitement, what enthusiasm.
Betts.
Despite the addition of linebacker James Gilliard going into their next contest at the Lake Charles Land Sharks, Houma was defeated 37-16 after a 6-3 halftime lead. Quarterback Aubrey Jones went 3 of 17 for 44 yards, and Michael Burks rushed for 40 yards. On May 5, 2002, the Bucks defense had 4 interceptions, and Mississippi had just 134 total offensive yards en route to a 26-7 win over the Fire Dogs. Much credit for the Bucks' recent success was given to a revamped defensive line, including Franklin Thomas, Charles Johnson, and Roger Green.
Far side as Jones looks to throw again and throws it long, and Hurd is open, and Hurd has it for the touchdown for the Bayou Bucks. Kevin Hurd, had it beat on it all the way. Knew it was of each half. Here is Aubrey Jones. Jones to throw all day long, and he is going to have it caught for a touchdown over the outstretched arms of a Mississippi Fire Dog. Watch it here as Gardner goes back to pass, looking in the end zone, firing it hard. It's batted in the air and intercepted by James Hughes, and the Bucks have held the Bucks. Gardner with the fake. Gardner with the throw. It is overthrown and intercepted here by Hamilton. Hamilton to the 25-20. He may go. He's at the 10, the 5, and Hamilton scores for the Bayou. Again, here they come. And there's the kick. He does get it away. And there is Sullivan Beard at the 20-25. He goes to the 15-10. He's at the 5. He's close to the goal line. He is in for the touchdown. Sullivan.
May 11th, 2002 wouldn't be a positive night for the Bayou Bucks when they hosted the Winston-Salem Energy. Very late in the third quarter, with Winston-Salem winning 50-21, a fight broke out between a player from each team after a kickoff. Throughout the game, many cheap shots were being thrown by Winston-Salem, a deliberate tactic ensued by their head coach, Irvin Bryson. A huge fight broke out, resulting in so many players being ejected that there wouldn't be enough to finish the game. Later, both teams would be issued a loss. Winston player Gene Downing was shown grabbing Roger Green's helmet and swinging it wildly and hit kicker Matt Schaefer in the back. Strangely, Downing would not initially be suspended by the league before a change of heart a few days later. Bucks players Charles Johnson and Darrell Hamilton would be suspended for the next game, which ironically would be against Winston-Salem in North Carolina.
It's just one of those unfortunate things, Troy Johnson. This will, of course, be heard about all across the league, how a game ended with 27 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Most definitely so. You know, it was just plain and simple a spectacle, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna hold any bars. There's no place for this in football. I mean, guys fighting on the field and they're leaving and taking the locker room. There's just no place for that, you know. And you could see it. You could see it building. You know, you had little skirmishes on the field. And you could see it. You could see the momentum building, and there's just no place for that in football. You know, it's not nothing for the fans and the kids to see.
Winston-Salem won the rematch, 61-31, with Energy quarterback Kent Meredith running up the score on the last play of the game by throwing a 28-yard touchdown pass to Derek Moore. Kevin Hurd, Michael Burks, and Calvin Mills would score offensive touchdowns. Michael Schaefer kicked 2 field goals.
And the Energy's going to throw it downfield for a touchdown on the last play of the game. A classless act, absolute classless act, but you would expect this after what's happened the last couple of weeks. All in the game, they say. A classless act by the Energy. Touchdown pass from Meredith to Moore. Kent Meredith, who changed numbers this week. He was number 11 last week. That's a 28-yard touchdown pass from Meredith to Moore.
The following weekend, the Bayou Bucks hosted Alexandria as the Bucks struggled at 2-6. With quarterback Will Birch injured, Derek Tate was signed along with defensive lineman Stacy Wilson. These two players were also former Mississippi Fire Dogs and had to take legal action to be allowed to play. A competitive game was played as Houma drove down the field trailing 44-43 with a few seconds left. The field goal team was rushed out onto the field as there were no more timeouts for Houma. The winning attempt was blocked, and Rangers' Troy Wright would pick up the block and score a touchdown off of it in a 50-43 win for Alexandria, though things got more somber as Houma's Clint Checkschneider grabbed Wilson and pushed him into the back barrier wall of the end zone. Wilson's head hit head first and caused serious injury, to which Checkschneider was ejected and later fined. June 1st had Houma going to Biloxi for the rematch against the Mississippi Fire Dogs. The Bucks finally won a road game 31-22. The Bucks capitalized on 2 Mississippi fumbles and 4 interceptions. In addition, Houma held on to the ball for almost 14 minutes more than Mississippi did. Sullivan Beard would run back a missed field goal for 57 yards for a touchdown in the contest.
24-22, and then Aubrey Jones with a big pass to Sullivan Beard to set up a touchdown run by Clint Guidry with 1:57 remaining. The extra point was good. The Bucks win it 31-22.
Injuries continued as lineman Lane Evans, running back Clint Guidry, and receiver Sullivan Beard missed the rematch in Austin the following weekend. Their absence didn't hurt as Houma won 53-42 thanks to the addition of newly acquired receiver Nemesis Bates, who scored 5 touchdowns on the night. Quarterback Derek Tate would be lost for the season during the game with a torn ACL.
The Knights come back. They score on a pass to Costley from 7 yards out. The Knights led at 36-25 with 4:50 left to go in the third period. The Bucks come back. Nemesis Bates, a 48-yard kickoff return. It was the Knights 36, the Bucks 32. Austin comes back. They get a 17-yard touchdown pass to Costley from Barnes. They led at 42-32, and then the Bucks take control. Bates with another kickoff return for a touchdown. This one from 45 yards. The extra point was good. The Knights led at 42-39, and then the Bucks come back 33 yards. Jones to Nemesis Bates. The Bucks 46-42, and then they'll close it out with 2:21 left in the game. It was Michael Burks from 1 yard out. 53-42 the final score. The Bucks win it. They move to 4-7 on the year. The Knights drop to 5-5.
After another bye week, the Bucks had to meet a roster freeze going into the final few games of the regular season. Clint Guidry elected to leave the squad, and defensive back Nathaniel Jones was also gone. On June 22nd, the Bucks would host the Oklahoma Crude with Lane Evans and Sullivan Beard returning from injury. The Bucks won 58-15 with their defense recording 7 turnovers and Aubrey Jones throwing 3 touchdown passes.
Back to pass. Number 12 looking downfield to the left side. Intercepted! Intercepted by the Bucks. 25 Sullivan Beard takes it down the middle of the field. He could go all the way. Step, swoop, swipe, and tackled at the 2-yard line is now the beginning of the second quarter. 12 back to pass. It's intercepted at the 15. Running it back, it looks like that's number 8, Betts, and he's going to go all the way. He's going to go all the way for a touchdown. Unbelievable. Fakes the handoff. Back to pass. Going downfield. Wide open receiver is intercepted by Sullivan Beard. Sullivan Beard takes it to the 5. Takes it upfield. We got a flag down. It looks like we got a clip after. And 2 receivers in motion. Back to pass to the right. Number 12 looking downfield. Intercepted. Center field catch by Sullivan Beard at the 4-yard line. Receivers in motion, back to pass. Looking downfield to the left side, and that's another interception. Another interception. This one, I'm trying to get a number, is Travis Brown. First down, Jones shotgun, pass to the left side. Touchdown to Nemesis Bates.
On June 29, Lake Charles beat Houma 42-31 in the Civic Center, where the Lake Charles Land Sharks ran back 2 Bayou Bucks interceptions and a fumble for touchdowns to secure a home field advantage in the playoffs. The Bucks' 2002 season ended July 6 with a 40-32 loss at Austin. The club finished its first year 5-9, hoping for better times ahead in 2003.
A piece of heaven for us this year. It's been a lot of fun doing these Bayou Bucks football games, and we look forward to doing it again next year. The final score here tonight, the Austin Knights 40, the Bayou Bucks 32. Season number 1 is over. For Mike Benura, I'm Hillary Domingue. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. You've been listening to Bayou Bucks football on KXOR Eagle 106.3. Good night.
Troy, it's been a pleasure working with you.
Enjoyed it, buddy.
That's the first time they've shown us on television.
Hey.
We want to thank everyone once again for viewing these contests throughout the week. And for Troy Johnson, I'm Steve Calderera. The final score is Lake Charles 42, the Houma Bayou Bucks 31. This is Bayou Bucks football on HTV 10.
The big news going into the regular season opener of 2003 was the addition of former NFL Pro Bowler Tyrone Hughes to play defensive back and return specialist. Other roster additions included receiver Kenny Causey, defensive back Derek Pittman, lineman Mick Rodemeyer, and linebackers David Dorsey and Oscar Hughes. Opening day quarterback was Will Burt, as Herb Tyler left due to a family illness, and Derek Tate was released over conditioning issues.
These guys like to show off their talent, and that's what they're here for, and the fans are going to have a good time, and everybody's going to be here, and it's going to be awesome.
On March 22nd, the Bucks won their season opener 29-14 over the Myrtle Beach Stingrays, the former Winston-Salem Energy, where the Stingrays were shut out in the second half. All 4 Bucks touchdowns were rushing thanks to Michael Burks and Nemesis Bates. Chris Trapolo became the full-time kicker and made a 42-yard attempt in the contest. The next week versus the Oklahoma Crude, Homa's two starting running backs, Burks and Bates, were out due to injuries. The Bucks turned out a 29-18 win, a game noted for the play of defensive lineman Andre Reed, who gathered 4.5 sacks and a pass knockdown, which was assisted by the pressure of Franklin Thomas and Roger Green.
Two wide receivers in motion, stutter move, Alvarado back pressure, down he goes, knocked off his feet at the 16-yard line. On second down, the peg goes to the outside, it is caught, dancing for yardage, up the far sideline, touchdown, Bayou Bucks, Kevin. Out of shell, rolling left, shucks a shoe, and down he goes inside the 10. Alvarado looking, firing, picked off at the 3. Emil back to the 15. He's knocked down at the 20. What a sure-handed catch.
The next 4 games were spent on the road. The first 2 contests were tough losses at the Utah Warriors, 61-36, and the Beaumont Drillers, formerly the Louisiana Rangers, 54-44.
With some post-game here, Andre Reed pleading his case to the officials here as he was held the entire night by the Beaumont offensive line, but it's to no avail. 50 for the Bayou Bucks rushing the football. Michael Burks, 22 yards on 13 carries, 2 touchdowns. Sir Haber Fair, while he was in there in the first half, 2 carries, 25 yards and a score, a 19-yarder. Nemesis Bates, 1 carry for 9 yards. Throwing the football, Sir Haber Fair started the game, did miserably. 2 of 13, no yards, 2 interceptions. Will Birch in the second half, 9 of 14 for 114 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Michael Burks on a halfback pass, 33-yard touchdown to Kevin Hurd in the second half late. Kevin Hurd had 5 grabs for 110 yards, all in the second half, including that touchdown. Burks had a catch for 5. Bates, 2 for 34, including a score. Causey, 2 catches for 17, and Birch even caught one of his own passes for 3.
Going into their next contest at the Austin Rockers, the club shored up their defensive backfield by adding Terrell Sutton and Eugene Ridgely. It wouldn't be enough as Austin would win 44-33 on an ill-prepared field where the artificial turf was actually placed directly on top of an ice skating surface, causing footing problems. The Bucks were down 23-6 in the third quarter before scoring 2 touchdowns, but couldn't overcome Austin's potent offense, which rushed for 107 yards in the second half. With the Bucks now 2-3, they were able to bring back quarterback Herb Tyler, allowing for the release of Will Birch. The move would prove valid as the following Saturday, Houma defeated the Lake Charles Land Sharks 48-35, an impressive win despite losing offensive lineman Lane Evans with an arm injury in the first quarter. Michael Burks would rush for 4 touchdowns and Sullivan Beard snatched 3 interceptions, one of which was run back for a touchdown, giving him NIFL Defensive Player of the Week honors.
The Bayou Bucks, Michael Burks running the football, 68 yards on 23 carries and 4 scores in the ball game. Herb Tyler, a very efficient 6 of 11, 53 yards and a score. That one to Kevin Hurd, who caught 5 passes in the ball game for 50 yards. Clint Shakespeare 1 for 3, not 1 completion, 0 for 1 in the second half for Herb Tyler throwing the football. He didn't need to. The Bucks had the game. Their defense came up with huge plays. Sullivan Beard, 3 interceptions, including returning 1, 37 yards for a touchdown. Ridgely with an interception as well. Good job by the front wall of the Bucks defensively, putting all kinds of pressure on quarterback Ted Robinson. Also good play on a strip and a fumble recovery by Bentley for the Bucks rather. I'm wearing the Saints cap this draft day. Bentley with a strip and a recovery. Just a great game for the Bayou Bucks and a huge win, 48-35. I know they have some happy people in the Bucks organization. They've been looking to play like this all year. They thought they had the talent, and Herb Tyler just might be the missing ingredient as he came in here, a great leader. And this Bayou Bucks team fed off of him and the defense, and they win it big over here in Lake Charles.
The next week, back at the Houma Civic Center, Houma defeated the Tupelo Fire Ants 47-26 where defensive back Terrell Sutton earned league defensive MVP honors for the week with 3 pass breakups plus 2 touchdowns off of an interception and a fumble recovery. The game featured 10 turnovers and 4 defensive touchdowns.
Looks, got time, fires it long over the middle, and is picked off. Intercepted by Terrell Sutton, who will run up to the 25. 20, Sutton into fire ant territory, and touchdown! The Bayou Bucks scored defensively on the first play of the game. Well, Matt. Fumble ball's on the floor, and it is going to be coming up by the Bucks. Picked up and advanced by Betts, the linebacker, before he's wrestled down. It's a Tyler fakes a pitch and going to go around the left end, untouched. Herb Tyler for the touchdown, the Houma Bayou Bucks. Well, I'll go again. Going to go long over the middle for Hurd. Touchdown, Bayou Bucks. Tyler to Kevin Hurd. Copeland will run into the center line. Fumble, ball's on the ground, scooped up by Sutton. Sutton's going to break loose to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown by Terrell Sutton, his second defensive score of the day. This one up. Penalty flag, Tyler throws, touchdown. Strapola, plenty of distance. It is good. Strapola puts it between the posts. He'll throw on first down, flag down, and it's picked off by Tyrone Hughes. Hughes to the 25. They're not going to get Hughes. He'll go into the end zone for a touchdown. Tyrone Hughes.
The Bayou Bucks record improved to 5-3 with a 28-21 win in the rematch versus the Land Sharks. This was done in part to the Bucks defense holding Lake Charles to 83 total yards. In the contest, Terrell Sutton would score the Bucks' first ever run back of a missed 2-point conversion.
Tyler to the end zone, caught by Causey. Touchdown, Kenny Causey. Robinson back, firing upfield. It is intercepted at the 14-yard line. The ball was underthrown, and the Bucks come away with it in the closing seconds of the second quarter.
Base.
Third down. At the end zone, touchdown, Kenny Causey. Byron Allen again out of the I formation. Instead, it's the fullback chugging ahead, and he is there. They lined up in that.
Here's the replay. Land Sharks are trying to get the 2-point conversion to tie it up. Robinson just throws it up for grabs for Bashir in the back of the end zone.
And it's Sutton on the move with a convoy of blockers. So instead of the tie forged by Lake Charles, Houma gets into the end zone on the other end and picks up 2 of its own.
Oh, nice job by Sutton, not only to intercept it, but then to take it back to the other way for the 2 points. Terrell Sutton, who played his college ball at Texas A&M Com.
Winning the next week at Tupelo didn't come easy as running back Cedric Allen played for an injured Michael Burks and rushed for 3 touchdowns in a 49-42 victory, the Bucks' 4th straight win, holding off a late Tupelo rally.
Herb going, he had the first down up to the 16, and there's a flag on the play. Let's see what it is now. And it's going to be against Tupelo. Oh, big play. Big block by Troy Davis and Lane Evans and Mick Rodemeyer up front. Herb Tyler with the first down. And it looks like it's a penalty against Tupelo. Illegal defense against the Fire Ants. 57 seconds remaining. The first down, a 2-yard pickup by Herb Tyler. The Bucks should be able to run this one out now.
Going into the rematch at home versus Beaumont, the momentum continued the Bucks' way with a 40-6 win that featured Herb Tyler going 15-20 in passing, Michael Burks with 3 touchdowns, and the defense recording 5 interceptions.
Watch Andre Reed, 53, jump on this one.
Well, Tate fumbles the snap, and Andre Reed looks like a running back going around right end as he outruns Tate to the end zone.
Tate backpedals, looking, setting, firing deep. It is intercepted at the 5-yard line. Tate threw it. Burks again cuts back at the goal line. Touchdown, Michael Burks. Touchdown, Houma Bayou Bucks.
Allen might be a good time to get him out, but Burks looks healthy right here.
Following Cedric Allen into the end zone. A touchdown from officially 4 yards away.
Hangs on to the football a little too late and then just throws it up for grabs in the middle of the field. Emmanuel Bentley picks it up and returns it for the Bucks down to about the 20-yard line.
The next week at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the Bucks allowed 30 first-half points, only to shut out the Stingrays in the second half en route to a 36-30 win, their 6th in a row.
The Bucks trailed at 30-24 at halftime. They came back, scored a touchdown on their first possession of the second half, and then scored one late. The Bucks scored with 7:43 remaining in the ball game. 2-yard touchdown run by Cedric Allen. He had 2 touchdowns in the second half. That is the ball game. The Bayou Bucks win it 36-30.
The winning streak would end the next weekend at Oklahoma. The Bucks struggled throughout the game on offense, but was able to muster a Herb Tyler rollout with 20 seconds left to tie the game at 36. But the score remained tied when Chris Stropolo missed an extra point. With 3 seconds left, Oklahoma kicked a 30-yard field goal to win 39-36, placing the Bucks with an 8-4 record.
Herb fakes the pitch, rolls out, going far side. Herb goes in, touchdown Bucks! Touchdown Bucks! Herb Tyler with 20 seconds left on the bootleg dives into the end zone. The Bucks have tied it at 36. Chris Stropolo coming to attempt the extra point. Great effort by Herb Tyler, diving into the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. The all-important extra point is now coming up. Out of the snap of Ryan Rodgers, Stropolo's kick is up, hits the upright and bounces away. No good. We're tied at 36 with 20 seconds remaining. 30-yard attempt for Jim Ranieri to win it for the Crude. The snap is good. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 3.7 seconds left. The Crude lead it 39-36 over the Bayou Bucks.
The Bucks were hanging on to playoff contention in their next game at home versus Austin, had Houma without 3 key players due to injury: Michael Burks, Kenny Causey, and Tim Betts.
Allen again at the 3, the 2, the big fellow checks his way in from 8 yards away. 10 from the 11. More penalty markers as Mitchell gets to the end zone, but I thought they had blown this play dead. For the tie, Brown's kick is up, it hits the roof, it's no good. Houma wins it. The Bucks are victorious, 42-39.
The field with winning coach Jack Phillips, and I guess, Coach, you got to give part of the win credit to the Houma Terrebonne Civic Center. They came through big for you.
Absolutely, but first hats off to my guys who are playing without 5 starters tonight, including Herb Tyler. Hey, if they can get it done like that, you know, my hat goes off to those guys. So, yeah, the ceiling is low, but we've been dealing with that all year, and even sometime tonight we've had some pretty bad kicks just dealing with the ceiling. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
The Bayou Bucks were given an early Christmas present of sorts the next week, which was a bye, when the Fort Wayne and Lexington franchises lost said weekend's contest, giving the Bucks their first ever entry into the postseason. In hands-down fashion, the Bucks beat Evansville in the season finale 55-6. Michael Burks had 52 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Kevin Hurd had 2 catches, and Tyrone Hughes would have an interception run back for a touchdown as well. Houma finished the regular season 10-4.
Some time. Flag goes down. Roberson guns it to the outside. It's intercepted. Touchdown. Houma Bayou Bucks.
The playoff game at Lake Charles would be played on July 12th. 2 days before, the club received bad news as star running back Michael Burks wouldn't be able to play after what turned out to be off-field issues in another parish. The day of the playoff game, quarterback Herb Tyler was nowhere to be found. Aubrey Jones would take his place in what turned out to be a 44-19 shellacking by the Land Sharks, which included their running back David Winbush scoring 5 touchdowns. Herb Tyler would eventually be found on July 16th when he returned to his mother's house, but initially wouldn't explain his disappearance. It would also be stated later that he had asked Bucks owner Gordon Dove if he could arrange for a ride to pick him up in the New Orleans area in order to join the Bucks bus trip to Lake Charles. However, Tyler didn't make a return call to Dove on where or when to pick him up. Some felt that Herb may have been suffering from an extended anxiety attack, which may have been the reason he came out early in each of the Bayou Bucks' final 2 home games of 2003, where the pressure of so many counting on him may have been too much as the playoff date got closer, leading him to simply disappearing for a while until he felt calm again. The Tyler and Burke situations were tough, along with an incident earlier in the year where some players were suspended for questionable activities after a contest at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. But the Bucks season would end on a much sadder note when Bucks linebacker Oscar Hughes passed away in New Orleans a few days after the playoff game at the age of 32 while playing pickup basketball. A season filled with struggle became one of deeper emotional strife, a season where both physical and emotional strength were needed at a premium. Going into 2004, the Bayou Bucks made some front office changes as Chris Seward, co-owner with her husband Neil after Gordon Dove sold back his interest in the team, was also named general manager. Travis Carell was shifted to consultant and offensive line coach. Furthermore, Franklin Thomas retired as a player and resumed his role as an assistant coach, along with the addition of longtime NFL scout and coach Joe Clark, named offensive coordinator. John Cherry and Michael Williams were also added to the coaching staff.
It's Troy Johnson,
Let's go to
former
Troy.
NFL player. Hey,
Troy.
Troy, what's going on, big man?
Hey, Coach, how you doing, man?
Coach, you want to say hello?
Hey, how you doing, man?
You guys doing good?
Offset. You know, usually you're in the booth somewhere during the game.
Yeah, man, we haven't done it in a while, man, but you guys are doing a great job.
Thanks a lot.
Second question, Coach. I know that also was a shakeup in the front office as far as the general manager position. Who will actually do the scouting, look at players, make assessment as far as personnel, and who's that final decision going to rest on?
Troy,
and I'll hang up. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Troy.
Thanks, Troy.
So we're paying the players the same. The coaches are pretty much the same. And so the idea is that, you know, I'm sorry, I just lost words on that.
So anyway, you're going to make most of the personnel decisions.
I've always made most of the personnel decisions, not to demean what Travis Carell has meant to us, and that break was clean and it was mutual between the two parties, and Travis is still a consultant of ours, so I wouldn't call it a shakeup, but a lot of people would like that. And that's a very good question, because I like to, you know, we're very close-knit group, and even Travis Carell at this point is really helping us. But the personnel decision has always been mine, and Travis is just, he wears so many different hats that he can't be, it's not like he's not there.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us tonight. That'll do.
Most noteworthy of roster changes included quarterback Doug Coleman, who had previously won an indoor championship in '98 with the PIFL's Bayou Beast of Baton Rouge, and running back Jarvis Dunn, who rushed for over 100 yards in his first game, which Houma would lose at Tupelo 58-50 on March 12th, where Tupelo scored on a 5-yard run with under a minute to go. In the second half, Tupelo ate into a 44-27 third-quarter Bucks lead by scoring 21 straight points.
Hall under center. 3rd and goal at the Bucks 5, trailing by 2. Hall with the football. Second man gone outside. Touchdown! 10 seconds remaining. First down at their own 7. Coleman back. Pressured. Sack. Safety. It is a safety, and that's the end of the ball game. Tupelo beats the Bucks 58-50.
The next week, Houma would win their home opener on March 20th, 43-13 over the Lake Charles Land Sharks, where opposing quarterback Freddie Harrison was knocked out of the game, in addition to Houma's defense snatching 2 interceptions.
He drops, he looks, fires right side, Dunn at the 5, 2-1. Does not get in. He's stopped just short of the goal line, but it'll be 1st and 10 from the 14 of Lake Charles. Coleman, flag flies as he dances around and fires it. Caught by Hurd, touchdown. But we have a flag. Let's get the call from the row. Long over the middle, and it is picked off in the secondary by Sullivan Beard. Beard on his feet into Landshark territory. Beard will take it all away. What a run by Sullivan Beard as he goes. He'll throw again. He'll scramble left. He's dropped. He's sacked. Roger Green, Alex Coleman. Play action. What do we know? Coleman goes long, looking for Hurd, who's got it at the 3. Touchdown. 45-yard touchdown pass. Doug Coleman to Kevin Hurd.
The Bucks resumed action on April 3rd in Houma with a 52-43 win over the Beaumont Drillers. Houma didn't complete a pass in the first quarter, but was able to run well, which contributed to 28 first-half points.
Ground picked up by Richard Griffin. Griffin, the big guy, rumbling, stumbling to the 1-yard line. Richard Griffin, what a job. Coleman going deep. He's got Hurd. Touchdown for the second consecutive possession. Coleman throws a TD pass. This one is good for Coleman. Drops the throw. Looks long up the left side. He's looking for Hurd. Touchdown Bayou Bucks. We told you they can do it. Coleman under some pressure, rolling right, fires it back at the end zone. Tip caught by Hurd. He dropped a couple. Coleman looks, got time, throws it. Hurd, touchdown. That's a big play by Doug Coleman.
Game 4 at Wichita Falls, Texas landed a 66-51 win, giving Houma a 3-1 record. The Bucks scored on 10 of 14 drives and were led by Darian Chestnut, who played running back and not his normal receiver position. He rushed for 95 yards in the contest. Tyrone Hughes stepped up with an interception run back as well. Game 5 on April 17th at Lake Charles turned out to be a 39-33 win for Houma to go 4-1. Sullivan Beard ran back a missed field goal right before the end of the first half to keep Houma in the contest. The Bucks defense would stop Lake Charles on the goal line stand with under 10 seconds to go to seal the victory on a batted pass in the end zone.
All 3 receivers are far side for the Bucks. Coleman back, pressured, pumps, looks over the middle, Hurd, touchdown, Kevin! Bucks 39, Land Sharks 33. 10.3 seconds left. The Bucks lead at 39-33 over the Land Sharks. 4th and goal at the Buck 14-yard line. Valencia and Austin, far side. They'll be in motion. Winbush, the tailback. Sparacino back, pressured. Now holding in the backfield. They throw the flag. It's in the end zone, out of the end zone. Bayou Bucks are going to win this puppy. That's a holding on Lake Charles as Kentrell Blatcher was spun around by Lewis. And the Bucks are going to have the football at the 14-yard line. 3.3 seconds left. They lead it by 6.
After a bye week, Houma would host Tupelo in a rematch on May 1st. It would result in an 84-55 victory for the home team. Houma hung on to the win despite turning the ball over 6 times.
Going it that way, he'll pick a couple of them off. Blitz is picked up. Coleman throws to the outside, caught for a touchdown. Devon Lockett. Here is a handoff to Chestnut, running to the corner of the end zone. He is in. Touchdown. Coleman keeps, spins out of difficulty to the 15. Big fellow chugging, gets a block. Touchdown. Doug Coleman.
Houma continued the win streak at Beaumont on May 8th in a 51-40 victory, then back to Lake Charles for a 31-27 win to go 7-1.
Jarvis Dunn, 50 yards rushing the football on 9 carries. Byron Allen, 31 on 7 carries. Coleman throwing the football, 12 of 23 after a slow start, 173 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 of them to Kevin Hurd, and 1 interception. Hurd, 6 catches, 101 yards, and 3 scores. Chestnut, 3 for 40 and 1 touchdown. Allen had a grab for 15 yards. Dunn, 1 for 9, and Clint Shakespeare only 1 grab for 8 yards. Jermaine Martin, by the way, outstanding game. 7 catches, 135 yards, and 2 scores for Lake Charles. We're going to take our final.
May 22nd in the Houma Terrebonne Civic Center versus Evansville. A tough battle resulted in a close loss for Houma, 51-49. After the loss, star linebacker Tim Betts would be put on injured reserve due to a knee problem. Fourth quarter turnovers were the main problem for Houma in this game, which led to Evansville scoring some 20 unanswered points and eating up the clock. The Bucks rebounded at Tupelo on May 28th in a 60-58 win and improved to 8-2. A back-and-forth second half would ensue with Doug Coleman running in a 1-yard touchdown run late in the fourth quarter, putting the Bucks up 60-51. Tupelo scored a touchdown shortly afterwards, but the following onside kick would fail. Following a bye week, the Bayou Bucks hosted Beaumont on June the 12th in a 74-66 win. Somewhat sloppy tackling kept the Drillers in the contest throughout, but Beaumont wouldn't keep a lead past the first quarter. Running back Jarvis Dunn would score 7 touchdowns. The Bucks were now 9-2.
Turning point in the game. Chad Luttrell, he's carrying the ball and a little carelessly, and Devin Lockett with a sweet strip.
Absolutely.
Dunn will punch it in. Now you lead 27-21. The defense allowed only 3 points the rest of the half. Drew Email steps in front of this one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good job right there by Drew Email, having to put someone in place.
Anthony Johnson and then David Dorsett with a sack.
Yeah, on our only blitz of the night.
And after a field goal, the Bucks go deep again. Hurd's 4th TD of the half. Nice play here.
Yeah, come back to the football to get it, and then to make extra yardage out of it. And then to go for the touchdown.
Nice. Back, and this was another theme. Really good on special teams and bouncing back when you need big plays.
Absolutely. We've worked hard on that kickoff return for the last couple of weeks, and it's been paying off for us.
Sullivan Beard, not only a great defensive back, but always has a spark on special teams. And here's Dunn again.
Oh, what a great job right there. That's excellent.
But Dunn that, done this. Well, what a throw. That was right in front of me. A beautiful throw by.
The team we supposed to play didn't play us today, so we went on ahead and played Beaumont, one of the teams that's really trying to get tied with us in the conference, but we needed this win to show them that when we come to play them.
The next week, Houma hosted the financially shaken Waco Marshals, who were only playing road games to keep their opponent's schedule intact. Houma ran all over Waco, 74-0. June 26 of 2004 featured the third game in a row for Houma at home. This time against Oklahoma. Houma won convincingly 87-33. One big moment in this contest was kicker Chris Strapolo, kicking a 53-yard field goal in the first half, not an easy task in the confines of the Civic Center. Defensive lineman Richard Griffin had 5.5 sacks, an outstanding mark for indoor football.
Target. The Bucks defense would force a field goal that gets blocked. And our girl, Josie, the beer girl,
can't even do a job.
She gets hit, but she's okay. Look, she got hit, but
very, very versatile right there.
Bucks defense again. Here comes Richard Griffin, coach. 5.5 sacks. Are you kidding me?
It's just a straight hustle with him, and these guys are really scrapping. And then we take the ball away. Leonard Mack takes the ball away, and that's another takeaway for us.
And Sullivan Beard's going to return this one as he always does.
That's an excellent job right there by everybody involved, blocking the thing the way it's supposed to be blocked. And then right here, Sullivan Beard taking it 45 yards to the 5.
About 5 minutes left in the third. Huge play here. Almost put the game out of reach. Wooten picked off by Mack, who laterals it to Email. And Email, former running back at Vanderbilt, knows how to take it to distance.
Yeah.
26, but the Bucks strike right back. Coleman to Darian Chestnut. Great catch.
Great catch right there. Great, considering he was in the wrong place with injury, harm's way.
How about my man Richard Griffin? Another sack.
Yeah, and it's amazing because that guy had never.
As the regular season winded down, the honors started to flow in as 8 Bucks players and head coach Jack Phillips were named to the Atlantic South All-Star team, including Jarvis Dunn at running back and kickoff returner, Doug Coleman, Kevin Hurd, Clint Check-Schneider, Troy Davis, Ryan Rogers, Andre Reed, and Sullivan Beard. The Bucks would finish the regular season once again at Tupelo in a tough contest, resulting in the Bucks coming up short 54-50.
The snap to Doug. Blitz coming. He punts, throws it over the middle. Picked off by Bingham. Tupelo's going to win the game. Eric Bingham steps right in front of the pass, and the Tupelo Fire Ants are going to win this one 54-50.
The Bucks wound up with an 11-3 record, finishing in second place in the Atlantic South Conference, which meant they would have a first-round bye in the playoffs and host a second-round game. But soon after their first-round opponent was determined, that being the Lexington Horsemen, the NIFL front office decided that Houma would have to play at Lexington. Much speculation was spread over this decision. The initial statement by the league was it wouldn't be fair for Lexington to play on a Thursday night in Houma due to limited amount of time to prepare for the game, including travel time. Friday through Sunday at the Houma Civic Center that weekend wasn't available due to a supermarket super fair being held. Although league rules would allow for games to be played from the Thursday before weekend through the Monday after, where Monday would have been available to play the playoff game. It later surfaced the NIFL wanted the game in Lexington because their arena was much larger. It held over 14,000 fans for football. The Bucks would play their second-round game at Lexington on July the 16th in a toughly fought battle that the Horsemen would squeak out 70-63. Doug Coleman threw for 7 touchdown passes. Lexington answered every time by picking at Houma's defense, and late in the game scored on a touchdown run. Houma would later drive down the field to get inside the 10-yard line, but Doug Coleman couldn't connect on 4 tries to the end zone to seal Lexington's victory. Only 700 fans attended the contest. So much for the bigger crowds up north.
Bayou Bucks, Doug Coleman, 24 of 38, 284 yards and 9 touchdowns for the Bayou Bucks, 1 interception. Kevin Hurd, 9 catches, 129 yards and 2 scores. Clint Shakespeare had 7 grabs for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. Devon Lockett, 4 touchdowns out of his 5 catches. He had 56 yards. Jarvis Dunn, 3 catches, 25 yards. That's the final stats of the game. Bayou Bucks season ends at 11-4. Lexington moves on. They're now 12-4 on the season. And, it was a good one here tonight. Unfortunately, the Bucks end up on the short end of a very good ball game from here at Lexington, Kentucky.
And played a heck of a game in Teen Huddle before the game, and Doug Coleman had 9 TD passes. Look at that bullet to Kevin Hurd.
Yeah, excellent job, and a little flick right there from Kevin Hurd.
Now what a play here as Clint Shakespeare takes a blow but holds on for the touchdown.
You're right, and you know, Clint's been doing that for us all year. The guy takes all the punishment and takes all the tough licks and moves in the middle.
No problem, didn't even feel it. So a little while later, Coleman will go out to Jarvis Dunn, and watch the move by Jarvis Dunn right here. Boy, he's nice in the open space, right there.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Just a pleasure to have him this year.
And he really came on as an offensive weapon. And Coleman and Shakespeare for another hard-fought touchdown.
Yeah, boy, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And then watch Coleman. You know, you talk about awesome, and we're going to make a big case for this guy as the MVP. But, boy, he dances around before he finds Lockhart for the touchdown.
Yeah, and Lockett just catches touchdown. 4 touchdowns on the day. One of those guys. Money.
It was 63 all. A couple minutes to go in the 4th. They score again. There's that running game as they punch it in. So you go right down, get down to the 3-yard line, have 4 shots from the 3-yard line, but they're not going to get it in. And they win it by the score 70-63. So,
unbeknownst to the Bayou Bucks fans, the disappointment of the game being moved and subsequent loss would only multiply as Bucks ownership decided to shut down operations going into 2005. And later decided to sue Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for what was dubbed violation of RICO statutes in terms of TPCG, telling the ownership how much money they could make per game. The case would volley in the federal court system for over 3 years before a judgment of some $800,000 was awarded to the Suards in late 2008, barring appeal. No new owners of the Bayou Bucks were found, and the entire NIFL would go under in 2006. It was an unfortunate series of events that closed the history of what many felt was an enjoyable time in Houma's first organized pro football team. Well, sadly, the Bayou Bucks are now a memory. Hopefully, over time, the more positive memories will resonate amongst those who followed the team that took what essentially was a seasonal job of playing indoor football and made it into a year-round fun event. Here's to happy memories, and may there be many more in all aspects of our lives. I'm William Taylor, and you take care.
Bye.
Coach, appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much. You guys have been great.
All right, hit play.
Absolutely.